Uh, Hello. Uh, just as I start, my cat starts sneezing. Hello. Uh, Welcome back to the Wembley Plant Podcast. Sorry, Blast Podcast. There we go. Gotta use the official name. Uh, and Apparently nobody wants to just kind of get thrown into it out of my two guests. They'd rather just actually do like a proper intro thing. So I guess I should do that. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Classic Blaster Podcast. It's great to have you. I don't really have much of a plan. Today's a solo episode. The first real solo episode. And I'm excited, actually. I'm genuinely excited to be doing this. It's been a hot minute. Yeah. I do have... There is a podcast in my video files folder of all three of us, of me, Nate, and Willie. But, I found it really hard to start on that one. Because, my God, two people, I thought that was, it's pretty good. There wasn't too much calamity. There wasn't much talking over each other and whatnot. But with all three of us there together, it got pretty out of hand, out of pocket, quite quick. I think next time I need to set some ground rules. For instance, I think one person talking at a time would be great, and also trying to give other people amped opportunities to talk amongst themselves, or not talk amongst themselves, to talk themselves, because at least in my own opinion, I felt like I was barely part of the episode. I was just sort of along for the ride as they kind of whisked me away and talked about a bunch of random stuff. They also doxed me, and I think themselves as well a little bit, so that's another reason why that episode hasn't come out yet, because my friends are kind of dicks. But it's okay. I'll try and work on that. I just wanted to get an episode out that was relatively easy to do. One that I just kind of... Because I have the B-roll footage for this podcast episode just kind of sitting on the backlog. So to actually just record the episode was all I needed to do. But every time I sat down to record, I either got distracted by my friends or by myself, or for a long time my girlfriend was back in town, so I was hanging out a lot with her, and that kind of kept me really busy. But now she's gone back away. So sad. I do miss her, to be fair. But I just got done making a pot roast, and I'm big chillin' now. I'm actually, at the same time as recording this podcast, I'm going to be recording B-roll in the background. You won't be able to see it. There'll already be a B-roll image for you guys. I'm pretty sure it should be the Minecraft house with the rainy outside. That should be it. I like that one. I've been waiting to use that one a decent bit. I think no. I don't have much structure for this podcast. I don't even have the stupid wheel that I've been doing with my friends. That comes back in the three-person episode, but that doesn't really help. It just kind of is a tool for me to move the conversation along to something that I think we can actually talk about, and maybe I can also participate in. Because, I'm part of this podcast too. I want to participate. I want to be an active member in the conversation. And sometimes they just kind of go off on tangents that I either do not have an interest in, or am just not the most well versed on, so I don't really have much of a say. Or not a say, but I don't have an opinion, or I don't have something that kind of correlates with what they're talking about. It'll be a mess. It'll come out. It'll have the B-roll for that one will be. I think it's going to be the one that I'm recording right now, which is just general Minecraft gameplay. Because I didn't think it deserved the still image, not the still image, the like relaxing sunset or like beach location, or definitely not the rainy indoor house one that'll be on this one. Just it did not deserve it. It needed something a bit more flowy, a bit more like talkative, I guess. I don't know. It was good. It was a good episode, kind of. I think next time I'm gonna have to lay my foot down, or maybe just get off my ass and talk a bit louder. I did actually write down a couple topics for this episode. No wheel, again, but I did want to talk about D&D, because I have not managed to talk about D&D on one of the podcasts, really, at all, actually. Because I think every time I've tried to bring it up, it either just didn't work out, or it was just me that was interested in it, and it got cut, or something. Anyways. Sorry. No, I love D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a huge fan. I started with 5th edition, the latest edition to come out. Well, actually, that's not true. That's technically... Okay, so I'll start even further back. When me and my girlfriend first started dating, and yes, this is an important part of the story, her uncle was, and is, as well as I think her mom and most of her family on her mom's side, are all pretty, they're pretty nerdy. They're not the most nerdy people, but they're certainly up there. They're a lot more well-versed in that kind of stuff than I was, because I had never played D&D, and I just so happened to be invited to play with them because they needed an extra person, and they already had a character made for me, but this wasn't Dungeons and Dragons, quote unquote. It was Pathfinder, which is similar. I'm probably gonna get crucified for that, but it's similar in most aspects, story-wise and like setting and stuff, but it also has a lot more complex situations and complex scenarios. I don't know how to say it. Mechanics, basically. Things that make the game a little bit more advanced for the average player. Of course, that's how D&D used to be back in the day, before this latest edition came out. This latest edition, though, is definitely the most popular one. Like, it's actually like, I need to stop saying like so much. It's actually out there. It's more of a household name. It's not as rare to be, there's a D&D club at my school. Just stuff like that. Just little things like that are changing, and obviously I'm a big fan of it because I like the game. Sorry, going off on tangent again. No, so we were playing Pathfinder, and I was given a character which was an elf ranger, and I didn't really play the game. Like, when things happened, I just sort of spectated, and whenever I would be asked for input, because I didn't talk much, because, I had just started dating this girl a couple months prior or whatever, and now I'm meeting her aunt and uncle and expected to spend a bunch of time playing this game that I had never played before. So I just kind of went on my own. I did my own thing. And, I tried to play it off as, that's my character, quote unquote. But it was really just an excuse to not talk. Like, in combat I would participate in, I did not feel the most effective. especially compared to some of my other teammates, because I think it was a group of 6 or so players, which is quite a bit, quite a bit to track, quite a bit to take care of, and I didn't get exactly I didn't really get the ropes of the game yet, or even really understand them now, because I've moved on to a different edition of the game, or a different version of the game, basically, where I didn't feel I was included in things. I didn't feel included in things. I didn't experience the game in a meaningful way. I just watched and participated and almost died quite a number of times, actually, until eventually that group got split up because of some outside of the game situations where some of the players could not make it and couldn't get along together because of outstanding situations that I won't go into detail about. But that game ended, pretty much. And in its stead, my girlfriend's uncle decided, I'll start up a new game with replacing the people that, could not be there anymore, that could not attend. And so we started a new game. And this one, I tried to make a character, but I'm pretty sure I almost ended up with the exact same character in the end. I'm pretty sure it was another ranger, but this time I thought, it'd be real cool if I got a whip, and I was like Castlevania, Belmont, something like that. And I never actually even got to use my whip. I got killed pretty quick, and then that game fell apart a lot quicker than other games, mostly due to my own schedule because I was really busy at the time. But after that, I didn't really do much D&D, anything really. I just sort of it just kind of faded into existence. It wasn't something I talked about. It wasn't an interest to me because I just had such a non-experience with it. I didn't really feel the game. I didn't understand what it could be to me. I just kind of dipped on it. And, right now, as of now, I kind of regret it because I think if I really did get into it and I really put myself forward, I could have had a very good time. It's just that I felt awkward and I wasn't in not like a safe group, but I wasn't in a group I felt comfortable chatting with. It wasn't something I could do with the greatest of ease. And so, obviously, I'd stopped playing, and a couple years passed. And at this point, me and a couple of my IRL friends were like, I want to go. I think I brought it up because I've been having a weird obsession with it lately, and as of recent times, it's been my it's hobby, quote unquote, besides gaming and whatnot. But I like to go camping. I just really do. I used to actually, when I was younger, dread even the idea of going outside and going camping. But with time, it got a lot better, and I really started to crave that feeling of being outdoors and spending time without most technology. Every now and then I'd get on my phone, whatever. But we were like, we're old enough, let's do kind of a boys trip out to one of my friends. It's not, I guess, a lot out by kind of like a private property lake thing, to keep it simple. And we weren't going to be out far in the woods or anything like that. We could still take showers, and we were just kind of down the way from the house that was built on the lot. And so we went out camping. It was supposed to be 4 of us. One of us canceled. Still kind of upset about that. You know who you are if you're listening to this. and we ended up having a really good time. The first couple days, we just sort of hung out and we just cooked and chatted, and I think I don't remember if my friend brought his airsoft gun with him that time. Not airsoft, but like pellet gun. One of the ugh. Sorry. I am so sorry. I'm not sure anyways, that's not the point. But one night, I think it was either the second or the third night, our friend, who was, unbeknownst to me, a DM, a dungeon master for his friends over his other group of friends, basically. And I don't remember what really brought it up, but I think it was, I'm just gonna say it. I think Willie, because Willie was there. I'm pretty sure it was Willie that brought up the idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons. Other friend was like, oh, that could be fun, but it's you could DM for us, and maybe it'll end well, because we didn't have a whole lot of things planned. I actually don't remember what we were planning on doing. I think we were maybe planning on going on a boat ride at some point, but I don't think that panned out. But pretty much, we didn't have character sheets, we didn't have anything. I just had my phone and the notepad in my phone. And with that, we started playing Dungeons and Dragons. We started pretty simply. I was a cleric, so if you don't know Dungeons and Dragons, I heal things and I whack things, and they tend to have pretty decent like armor, like not light, but medium and sometimes heavy. And for those that do know D&D, I was a trickery domain cleric, which, by the way, is not the best. I won't lie to you. I mean, it's fun and it's definitely got its perks, but it is not the most efficient class to be picking. But I digress. It just kind of worked out. I think at the time we were using Magic the Gathering dice. And if you know anything about D&D and about Magic the Gathering, the dice do not work the same way normal D20s do, 20-sided dice. They have, at the top of a Magic the Gathering die, they have the 20. And then to the side of that, they have 19. To the side of that, they have 18. It kind of counts down. They kind of all connect to each other from highest on one side down to lowest on the other side. And for rolling, for stats and rolling, well, that was rolling for ability checks and rolling to hit things and whatnot was kind of thrown askew by that. And sometimes I think there were probably crits that shouldn't have been crits. Critical hits that shouldn't have been critical hits, and then also ones and misses that should not have been ones and misses and whatnot. But that we learned later what was wrong with it, so we actually all got proper dice. But obviously, while we were on the camp out, it was still using those. But it was just something about it. Something about the way we could interact with the world, the way that we could experience things, that really touched me in this like weird spot where I just felt really happy for some reason. I felt excited to explore. I felt excited to fight monsters, to level up, to just go forth and do things. Even the simplest, minute things felt fun and enjoyable. And at the same time, I fell in love with my character. I felt an actual connection. When my characters died or got really close to death in previous times I played D&D, the Pathfinder games, I didn't feel anything really. I felt like, oh man, I suck. I'm really letting my teammates down. I need to learn how to play this game better, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm just not good, or maybe my luck's really bad. I didn't think, oh no, I can't let my character die. I need to save him. I need to find something that I can do to. I was more focused on not being a nuisance to my teammates rather than actually caring about whether my character died or lived. And in this game, I started caring. I started really feeling connected. I started to sort of understand what his motivations are in life and what he would want to do in certain situations. And I felt good. I felt great about it. I thought of him as like a really nice extension of myself in a way that I couldn't exactly do in real life, obviously. So it just, the camping trip ended. I had a really good time, and pretty much immediately from there, I started doing more research. I started asking Willie and the other friend if we could, we could keep playing, if we could start it with somebody else, or maybe continue the one that we already started. And we eventually got the friend that didn't come to the camp out, who was supposed to join us as well. And he came in, and his character was a warlock. So we were a warlock, a paladin, and what is it called? Cleric. Sorry, I'm dumb. But yeah, it just, things clicked for me. And that game has kind of stagnated because it's really difficult for schedules to line up. And another person joined as well. And we've moved so far and so fast through different places and across different dimensions and whatnot, to the point where it's not really the same. It's not at the same point the game was previously, for sure. We've definitely moved past writing on our notepads on our phone to track our stats and to look up monsters and stuff. And now I have taken the reins upon myself to start DMing, to start trying to get to try and allow people to feel the fun the way I did, to encourage people that have never played the game to give it a shot, to experience something with me, to feel connected, I guess, to be able to play a game in a way that they never thought that they could. And I like DMing. I think it's really fun. I think it's a great time, but I still, every now and then, I get that craving, because nobody really wants to DM that much, because there's a lot more responsibility, there's a lot of like management you gotta do. But I just like it because then we actually get to play the game and we don't have to worry about it that much. But other than that, I want to play as a character again, for obvious reasons. And I'm just not sure when I will be able to again. I almost feel like none of that was a coherent thought, but at the same time, I feel like I got my feelings out there in the best way that I could. I love the game. That's the biggest thing to take from this. I love Dungeons & Dragons. I love playing it. I love creating worlds for other people. I like fighting. I like talking. I like the roleplay aspect. I like making characters. I have made a bunch of characters, and I have never gotten to use any of the characters I have made besides my first one on the campout, which was just for simplicity's sake and just so people can have a name. It was Suzu, and Suzu was a cat person, and he had really low stats, like exceedingly low stats, compared to my other friend, the paladin, Willie. Willie had amazing stats. Like, all of his stats were higher than me. Even his worst stat, I think, was almost either higher or tied with my highest stat. And despite this, because clerics are pretty strong in this version of D&D, I was able to, well, also because, you know, I did some pretty cool strats and whatnot. Not to toot my own horn too much. But I managed to be effective in combat. I actually managed to be somebody that you could rely on to help heal, to help attack, to help kill monsters, to complete quests. And I felt like, of course, there's only 2 of us at the time, so I really did have to step up. And of course, my friend was a lot easier to talk to than, per se, your girlfriend's uncle, etc. So I was a lot more relaxed. I think getting into the game is not a matter of... It's not a matter of if you'll... Like, I don't know how to say it. It's not a matter of if you understand the concept, if you know, are super looking forward to it, whatever. Because, I mean, if you're even slightly excited about your character, or even slightly interested in the idea, the thing that will hook you 10 out of 10 times is having a good group of people that you can chat with, that you can talk to, that you can feel connected to, and then also a DM that really understands what is gonna be fun for the group. What is going to be... This is god ugly. When you see what I've made in Minecraft, in that other episode, you're gonna be like, my god, that is horrendous. And wow, I just totally balls this whole thing up. Like, the roof is awful. It is hard to look at, in my own opinion. My god. I don't even want to continue to look at that or build it. I almost want to burn it. Jesus. My god, I'm just gonna try and ignore it the best I can. I'm gonna stop now on the Minecraft. I'm just gonna save and quit out of that and let that sit in the background while I continue talking. So it matters a lot to me. It matters a lot about having a good DM and having a good group, I'd say. It matters more about that than actually succeeding in the game, because you can lose, you can all die in the first 20 minutes in the first battle, but as long as you're with a group that, you know, you enjoy spending time with, that you enjoy talking with, that you enjoy adventuring with, in obviously the mental space that is D&D, then you'll have a good time. There's not much of a point to this. It wasn't like at this point I should have just written a script talking about how much I love D&D. Instead, I just kind of suck, and I just sort of did not have enough coherent thoughts about it. I just have so much to say about the game that it makes it really difficult for me to, I guess, have there be a consistent storyline. There's so much for me to talk about with the game. And in lieu of speaking about other things other than D&D, especially if people do not care about D&D, I'm going to be talking about something else now. I'm going to be talking about the podcast itself. There's been a couple episodes have come out. There's a couple that have been recorded and haven't been released, and I want to kind of level with everybody that listens to this. I am not looking for professional, oh wow, this is so well done, this is really well edited, etc. I'm looking for relaxation. I'm looking for conversations that are not boring, that are not unfunny, things that are. I just want the environment in which the video exists to be not one of formalities, which is why the wheel's fun, you know? It's just, there's no real structure to it other than the wheel decides what we talk about. Of course, this episode, I threw away the wheel, at least for this, just so I could talk about specific things, and of course not to bog down with a bunch of different topics because I need to fill up some made-up wheel. It's the reason why most of the podcasts don't have like a proper intro, unless the person I'm talking to takes it upon themselves to do the quote-unquote intro. I just don't think it's necessary. I think it's more fun to just start almost mid-conversation, and I also kind of find it funny when people ask if I'm recording, and then I'm like, yes, we've been going for about 2 minutes now. I think that's just funny. It's just something. It keeps people on their toes, you know. I want people to not go into the I don't want people to talk on the podcast as if they're on something. They're like on a talk show. They're talking to somebody specifically, or trying to do this weird persona, I guess. I want it to be more true to reality. It's the easiest way I can put that. Where it's like, I'm not putting on a face for you guys. I'm not pretending to be somebody I'm not. I'm just talking like who I am. I'm not really letting much go. I'm not letting much slip by. How do I word this shit? I'm not holding back. I am only holding back for the sake of being safe on the internet and having this not be just some rambling thing about specific life topics, because that's not what's important. I'm not going to talk about my problems and my issues unless it's, you know, comical to an extent. I don't come on here to just complain. I don't record these podcasts just to get them over with. I want them to have a heart. I want them to have a soul. I want them to be enjoyable, relaxing at points, and then also like the 3-person one that's going to come out, absolutely chaotic. And I want in the first minute what the podcast is, what that specific podcast episode is going to be like, to be able to be grasped pretty quickly, where within the first minute you're like, this podcast is going to be an absolute shit show, and there's going to be 900 million words a minute flying at your ears. Or this podcast is going to be really relaxed. It's not going to be too aggressive. It's not going to be talking about a bunch of different topics, probably more in-depth, singular conversations about one thing or two things over the course of 30 minutes to an hour. This is a calm... there's going to be probably less calm one-on-one episodes with Nate and Willie especially, where there's going to be a lot of random things kind of thrown at the wall and to see what sticks. But I think the reliable thing is that the most relaxing episodes will tend to be the singular solo podcast episodes like this one. And I should probably try and find a way to make that a bit more accessible by thumbnail. Like, for instance, changing a thumbnail so it actually looks different from other ones. Because I do need to branch out there with the thumbnail. I have some ideas thrown around in my head about the thumbnail. I just kind of like the style of it right now. I think if I can get some really nice screenshots of like the B-roll footage, and then put that on a transparent background. Well, to put like the main Wambly client and the flowers and the grass and whatever over a transparent background, and then layer that image onto the screenshot. Uh, Whatever technical stuff. It's not advanced things, but it's just stuff that I've tried to learn and trying to input to make things not hot garbage. Oh, good news. For Christmas, Willie actually got a new microphone. And with that comes the disappearance of, if you've ever noticed, that random scratching, like TV static sound that comes on occasion whenever he's like not talking, or whenever he is talking sometimes. And oh god, I hated that. I tried to cut out most of them or try and tone down his volume in specific, but there are definitely moments that I missed, or times when I did not have separate audio tracks for, you know, my voice as well as theirs, so it becomes a lot more difficult to single out that volume. But now obviously I have different audio tracks for me, and then for Discord, and then for the game or whatever I'm playing, which is why the Destiny 2 video kind of came out pretty well, purely because of the fact that I did put a decent amount of time into editing that. Like a decent amount of time. I really did try on that one. Of course, I'm got a lot of learning to do. I've got a lot of things that I've got to review with myself and sort of come to an understanding of what I need to learn to actually make these worthwhile, to make episodes not look like hot garbage, or to make these quote-unquote garbage montages. The only issue is I haven't really played another good game for the garbage montage episodes, or videos rather, because mostly I've been focused on these long drawn-out strategy games with Willie, and haven't been playing much Destiny 2. I think a GTFO video, if you know what that game is, that one would be pretty good. There are definitely some good moments in there that I think, with proper editing, can make the game, it can make the commentary and the game shine a bit. Because there's funny moments, of course, but there's also very serious, quiet, tense moments. And I think the cutting between, with like some light music to like a silent pitch black, oh, we're sneaking up on 3 guys to try and take him out at the same time kind of thing, I think it would mesh well. It just really depends on how well I can cut together the clips, because I'm still learning the best way to cut together clips without there being like little artifacts of previous conversations, or to cut out right when someone stops talking, so I can actually I can have that clip be quiet and not draw into the next clip. If you guys ever wonder what I'm using to edit, it is something I forgot the name of, and I am totally blanking on it now that I think about it. What is it called? Shit. It's really solid. It is really solid, and I have totally missed the name on it. DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, no, DaVinci Resolve, it is fantastic. Like, it is a free software. Well, there's like a paid version of it with some more spicy things added on top, but the free version of it is awesome. It is fantastic. There is no real issue with it that I have, apart from just my own failures of needing to learn certain things. But that's with any program that you get, you're gonna always need to learn some new tricks or to learn a workaround for something that maybe another program has that you don't. But you know, you figure it out. Recording a podcast is not the most difficult thing to do. Bless you, Lucy. The most difficult thing to do, I guess, would be to make the podcast enjoyable, and I guess also marketable would be kind of important, because I mean, you don't want to just be doing podcasts for free for the rest of your life. It's not usually the goal. I think most people with a podcast is like, okay, I'm gonna get some steady, easy income. But of course, most of those people already have a decent following, so I do need to work on more videos that are not podcast orientated, more of the funny videos, more of a single player kind of thing. I mean, there's a ton of old content that has a lot younger voiced me, or I think younger voiced me, from a couple years ago, and all of those are not great. There's not much editing at all with those. And most of them are like 20 minutes long, but there's a ridiculous amount. There's like 120 videos or something below the newest videos, and they range from random single player games to multiplayer games where I don't really interact with people. And there'd also be times where my audio would not record for whatever reason, so I would just have video and like minor amounts of editing, but I'd still use the footage because I didn't want to record it again. I think it was because back then I was really trying to focus on uploading a video a day, which, by the way, I don't understand how anybody does that by themselves. Like, that seems impossible. Because you can do it, sure, if you have very low editing content, or content that does not take hours to record. Because, I mean, anybody can sit down and play a game for 20 minutes and then upload it to YouTube, but not everybody can make that 20 minutes feel fun, or feel like it actually moved somewhere, or can make it feel enjoyable, make it something that people will watch, or even sometimes rewatch. And then, of course, to do that every single day sounds grueling. Because those videos are easy to record because it was just, I will simply record and talk and then throw it out there, and sometimes maybe put a song behind something, the most like copyright free song I can find. By the way, if you ever are curious about the audio behind some of the videos, as well as specifically the Garbage Taj video, all of my stuff comes from the it starts with an E. I totally forgot again. This is bad. Alright, give me a second. Audio library. Shit. Copyright free. Let's see. Epidemic Sound. There we go. Found it. Don't have to worry. Don't have to pull the alarm. I found it. Epidemic Sound. Fantastic. It is relatively cheap. It's a monthly subscription thing. I think I'm still on the free trial though. But it has a huge audio library with sound effects, with music of varying kinds, and all of it is quote-unquote free. Because once you have it on your videos, you don't need to worry about copyright stuff, and it's really easy, super easy to find what kind of things you're looking for. Also really easy to download. You can make playlists. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just saying that if you want to start making podcasts or start making YouTube videos, Epidemic Sounds is great for audio stuff, just background music, sound effects, etc. And then whatever the podcast thing, DaVinci Resolve is fantastic for editing, in my own opinion. Even the free version's great. Neither of these are sponsored. I just like them. I just think they're nice. Because before I felt very scuffed when I'm trying to make videos, and now I feel like the only thing holding me back from making content that is enjoyable or making content that is not professionally done, but is edited in a way that doesn't suck ass. I feel like now I really have the tools to do that. So it does rely entirely on me, which both sucks and is kind of cool because it's very much, oh, how much time are you willing to put into this? How much time are you wanting to spend on learning to do this single trick for like a 5-second thing in a video? But, you know, if it turns out well, then it's rewarding. Of course, I don't have many things. Oh, right. The episode's coming to an end because I'm just talking about stupid things now. And also it's been 45 minutes and I'm gonna go check on my pot roast. But what was I gonna say? Fuck. Damn it. Balls. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. There is a Wambly client Twitter. I think I got the Twitch name down, and I don't remember if I have an Instagram. I don't think so. There's nothing on them. They just exist. I should do something with that. I need to make a banner for Twitter. That's also important. Here's the thing. I like the color scheme I've got going, but at the same time, I need to come up with more variations of that color scheme and of the design idea to not look like I just used the same picture 92 times for everything. So I need to definitely work around that. Definitely make things a bit more variety and not samey. Because I also need to make them look professional, but also clickable and not like clickbait-y, if you understand what I mean. Anyways, none of that last like 10-15 minutes was much of anything of importance. But you know, I haven't actually had to do like a solo outro yet because this is the first real solo episode besides that one that was just sitting on my hard drive for the longest time. The weird date one. By the way, what a weird fucking thing to do. What was I thinking? It was super late when I made that. And my god. I do not like it. It's not my favorite video, but I'm not going to take it down. It will sit there as a testament to what is not my best work content-wise, for sure. Like, I don't want to hit that level again of weirdness, but I also want to get close to it, like a happy medium, to say the least. Regardless, this has been the Classic I cannot talk. This has been the Classic Podcast. I've been your host, Wambly Client, Griffin, if you want to be a bit more friendly, you know, one-on-one terms. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And I'm going to go check on a pot roast, and hopefully it turned out well. If it's not, I'm going to be mildly upset. But I'm going to try and edit this podcast right after that. So, thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll catch you in the next episode.